Good morning, Ed Pathway students. We just wanted to let you know that we have an upcoming event for you. We're going to be doing classroom walkthroughs, and to prepare for this event, we have put in an assignment for you to complete prior to. So if you scroll in your Canvas course, I have added a section called Formal Lesson Plan Observation Walkthrough Forms. And our first assignment in here is going to be to complete a formal lesson plan. I decided to use Canva. If Canva doesn't work good for you and you guys prefer to use a Google Doc, I can add that in there as well. So when you get here, you're going to click on the form. And then it's going to show up in Canva. Hopefully it does an easy transition for you guys into your Canva, and you're going to go to File, make a copy. So now you can see up here, this is your copy of PLTW lesson plan. And if you weren't sure before, you can always add people to your document. So you could add your entire group so that you guys can fill this one lesson plan out together. You'll just need one lesson plan for your group. And once you get into, let's look through the lesson plan together real quick. Let me make it larger. Once you get in, you're going to delete this. Get rid of that. We are planning for this lesson plan to be on March 12th. So you'll have some time to fill this out, but the Wednesday before March 12th will let you know where you've left off in your lesson previously. So the Wednesday before March 12th, you and your team will decide, okay, we left off here, so we need to fill out this lesson plan for what are we doing on March 12th. I'll write that in there. Okay. So when you're looking at your lesson and you're referencing your, say you're doing 4th grade energy exploration, well, that's the teacher guide. Wrong thing. And you may have been in activity 3. So if it's asking you in your lesson plan, I probably lost it now, there it is, what lesson, and I'm looking here, I could put activity 3 and energy problem solver. That's my activity that I'm on. As just an example, that's what could go here. This is going to be the classroom teacher's last name. You're the teacher, sorry, skip that section. But right here, you're going to list the classroom teacher's last name, the teacher of the classroom that you're in. And then your subject is going to be science of flight or energy exploration. And then your topic is just the same thing that we put up there. But it is important that you fill out each of these sections. This is an example of a formal lesson plan that teachers do fill out and have to submit to their principals, especially before they're having an observation, people walking through their classroom. So some sections for you guys, some sections are more important than others, but what's a real life application? So if you're looking through your course, does it have some career connections for you already? Otherwise, you might want to think of some of how is this concept actually used in the real world and list it. There's no right or wrong answer for this. And then your lesson plan objectives in your Canvas course, in order to find that, you have to go back out. And I was looking at 4th grade, so I'm going to go here. And I was talking about doing activity 3. These are centers, so that's not the right thing. Activity 2. Oh, right here. Sorry. Teacher guides. So you're going to find your teacher guides and you're going to go to activity 3. And then here is where you'll be able to find your objective. It should be something short. If you need help, just let us know. Go back to Canva. Is there any support that the students need to complete this lesson? So for example, if they're going to be needing to write stuff down in their launch log, especially for 3rd grade, they may not know how to spell things. So do you need to do a doc camera and write with them? What type of support? Do you need to be reading out loud for them? Is there any type of support that they need? The next section we're going to look at is instructional strategies. So you'll have to find these in your lesson. It's not spelled out for you. So if you're looking at your lesson, and again, I'm just using this activity 3 as an example from the energy unit for 4th grade. So I'm looking through here, some instructional strategies, and maybe I'll make a list for you before this is due, so it'll be more helpful. But when I'm looking through this lesson, an instructional strategy when someone's teaching would be vocab, to go over the vocab so the students understand what it is, and usually visuals are always powerful and helpful. So you can write in, oh, we have vocab visuals. Let's keep looking together. And they're going to design a windmill. I bet you, there we go. The design process is in here as well. So the design process is an instructional strategy that you're providing for students to help learn how to tackle tasks when they're creating and designing. So this is an instructional strategy that you're used. And then also they're going to be building a windmill. And so you were providing them the instructional strategy with a hands-on activity to build their knowledge about a concept. And so when they're building their windmill, they're making a hands-on windmill so they can actually understand, oh, okay, and relate to the story. And actually, the read aloud story, I cannot pronounce the name, but this read aloud story is an instructional strategy as well, to build background knowledge. So that was kind of a lot. So if I'm looking back here, I could put all of these things that I have as examples for you. And then differentiation. This is where, what are you doing? Adjusting your teaching methods and tasks to meet the diverse learning needs of all students, ensuring everyone can access the material and make progress. So, for example, if there's text that students need to read, but they are not on grade level or they're not able to read it independently, you having them read it aloud with their peers in their groups, or if you're reading it aloud as a class, you are differentiating for them. You might need to model for the students instead of just saying, okay, looking at the lesson we were just talking about, build a windmill, go for it. Maybe you need to model how to get started and explain things. So these two things are a little bit different concepts that we haven't talked about too much as a class. I'll add some more supporting information in there for you before this is due to help you. When you're just moving on to the planned activities section, this is just you listing out what you're doing throughout that day, how much you think you're going to get done. And again, I'm referencing activity 3 from the 4th grade unit. So if, say I was in the middle of the unit, like here, This is, I left off last Wednesday before this point, and this is my starting point for the March 12th date. So I would just start off referencing this section. So I would put, we're going to be doing activity 3, part 2, design a windmill, step 5. That's what would go here. And you would need to briefly kind of just put titles. You don't need to like write out a whole bunch of stuff of what's happening. Lost my spot. So you could just talk about that you're going over the windmill, you're going over the design process, and they're building a windmill. That actually will take a long time. It should take a long time because you need them to be exploring. And I'm sure there's something in here for them to do in their launch log. I just haven't found it yet. So this could take the whole probably 20 minutes. It might be 20 or 30 minutes. So actually, if you were on this step, that might be all that you put down here. But you could put down, we read the story together, and that took 4 minutes. Then we watched the design process video, and you just look and see how long the video is. That's 2 minutes. And then the students, right here, you could put down, they started working on building their own windmill prototype, and you could put that was the remaining of the class, 25 minutes. So it's just a brief explanation, excuse me, on what you are going to be doing. In your teacher guide, as well as throughout the lesson, there's always questions. So you're just going to pull out those questions in that time frame that you're going to be with the students on the specific section. What questions, see there's already questions. What questions are being asked? You're just going to pull out these questions. Here's some here. Lots here. And Are you decide with your team, are you going to ask all the questions? If so, then copy and paste them over. Easy peasy. And then how are you checking for understanding throughout the lesson? Walking around and talking to the groups? Are you asking them to write down something and share it with you? So this again is something that we could talk more about, but every lesson, no matter how short it is, teachers are always checking for understanding. How are you going to wrap up your lesson? Because maybe you didn't get through the whole entire, activity 3 section. So where's your stopping point? Do you think it's going to be? Obviously that changes in the moment. It does for every single teacher. But this is just talking about how you're wrapping up your lesson. And is there any lesson evaluations for yourself and revisions? How did it go for you? What do you need to tweak for next time? Okay, so hopefully this is helpful. We're excited for you to fill out a formal lesson plan and to make sure that we did notify you that, let me go back here, on March 12th, people will be in your classrooms, and this is not a scary thing. It's to celebrate you. They're so excited that you guys are pushing out into the schools and the classrooms and teaching our kids and saying you're unified. So they want to see it, and they want to praise you for all your good work. So they will be walking around, the principal of the school, their CSP, myself, your teachers, and then I'm going to invite some district admin who will be supporting our program. So it's good to bring them in to let them see it so they can continue supporting us. And they're going to be walking through with it's called a classroom walkthrough form. We'll share that with you prior to, but they're just going to jot down little notes of what they see, and it's going to be a really cool thing. Nothing to be nervous about. Okay, so this is your next task. And I did put a due date on there, but you just follow what your teacher says for due dates. I just created an assignment in case they wanted to copy and paste it over into your other Canvas course. Have a wonderful day. Reach out if you need supplies or you have any questions. Thank you.